After a loss at Portland Monday, Knicks try to find the right chemistry in Seattle against the Sonics. And hello, Sean Kemp. Welcome into our living room. Nice no-look pass to Michael Cage. Sonics by 7 early. Patrick Ewing had 25. Good second chance on the hoop there. Then a third chance, this time for Ewing. Greg Anthony watched the outside jumper for the second-year man. It's short, but he follows up his own miss, and the Knicks are up 42-41 at halftime. Third quarter, Eddie Johnson takes over. The runner past Hubert Davis. Then off the steal, it's Johnson with the layup. And how about EJ spotting up for 3? He scored 13 consecutive points at 28 for the game. Close it out with Michael Cage to Sean Kemp. Take a pretty picture for Seattle fans. The Sonics win 100-90. The Knicks lose at Portland and Seattle on back-to-back nights. Antonio, first half, the hot hand, Mark Price. That's 3, rips scored. Then faking out Vinny Del Negro for 2. Cavs led by 10 at one point. Ex-Knick Gerald Wilkins stripping Antoine Carr, goes all the way, gonna dunk it. A little short for Craig Elo there for the putback, and Tark says, what's going on? But the second half, the Spurs come out hot. Sean Elliott, baseline dish to David, and the Admiral says, get out of my way. 19 points and 13 boards for David. This one of the boards, and the outlet to Dale Ellis. You can't leave him alone. Gets a little space and spots up and takes it. 2 of his 20, and the Spurs go from down 10 to win by 11. Lloyd Daniels, 19 off the San Antonio bench. The Cavs have lost 3 in a row, all without Doherty, who's now on the injured list with tendonitis in his left knee. Detroit, the Pistons, in L.A. to visit the Clips. Third quarter, bad news for Detroit. Isaiah Thomas driving. Ron Harper is driving, I should say, and collides with Isaiah. The result, a deep bruise in the left leg. Isaiah Thomas would not return. Late fourth, Pistons down to Joe Dumars to Orlando Woolridge. Game tied at 103. Closing seconds, same score. Joe D has it stripped by Harper. Chance for the Clips to win, but the pass was too far ahead. Woolridge intercepts. We go to overtime. In the OT, Ron Rothstein's team scores just 3 points, and Danny Manning takes over. Great pass to Ron Harper for the layup. 21 for Harper. 21 for Manning, and Isaiah didn't come back. And without Zeke, they were pretty weak in OT. Clips win by 9. After the 0-3 start, L.A. now has won 3 of their last 4. Dennis Rodman also missed this game, tendonitis in his right knee. Linda?
Another win. Horace Grant, the outlet to Michael Jordan here, and the tongue is out, and you know what's coming. Bulls led by 14. Pippen, one of his 12 assists. Grant finishing it off. Grant lit up Leitner with 24. Now, who is the one guy in the NBA you don't turn your back on? You know it. Jordan backdoor with the slam. Pippen in the open court finds Grant cutting. Sorry, Luke Longley. More Jordan using the pick, sliding between Longley and Bailey for the layup. And then he just happens to be in the right place, right time for the steal, slamming it home. Bulls up by 23 at the half. Jimmy Rogers with some new strategy to stop Jordan. Yeah, right. Jordan pulling up, swishing the 3. Jordan finished with 32 points. He didn't even bother to play the fourth quarter. Bulls win 124-103. Jordan hitting 14 of his 21 shots, and when he wasn't making faces at the Timberwolves bench and talking it up with Chuck Person. See, he did that along with shooting pretty well. The Bulls have now won 5 straight. The Kings, off to their best start in 18 years. They were in Houston, where Akeem didn't look like he was not an unhappy Rocket. D leading to offense here. The steal for Olajuwon. Rockets go on a 23-0 run. Second quarter, more D. Kenny Smith with a steal this time. A little showtime to Sleepy Floyd for the J. Rockets by 13 at the half. There was some bad news for Houston. Vernon Maxwell goes down with a severely sprained ankle. He could be back, though, by week's end. In the fourth, Rockets with a 6-point lead. Akeem takes it from there, gets 2. He had 34 on the night. Houston wins this one 116-109. 15 of Olajuwon's 34 points came in the first. Streak looked good for the Heat early. Cole the miss, Sally the slam. Warriors trail by 4 at the half. Sally still playing well, blocking Hardaway. Rice getting the rebound. Finds Willie Burton, who makes the nice move here, Willie. Heat by 13. Warriors turn to Keith Jennings, the 5'7" rookie. Jennings the drive in the middle. Jennings the 3. But don't forget about Tim Hardaway nailing the long bomb as the buzzer sounds. Tied at 88 after 3. In the fourth, Jennings with one of his 2 key 3s in that quarter. Mr. Jennings signed as a free agent, played in Germany last year with a big game, a career-high 22 points. Remarkably, it was only the second time the Warriors have beaten Miami in 11 games. Mike?
On Tuesday night, Dave Winfield saw the Knicks last Tuesday, watching the Nets this Tuesday. Nets down 6 in the third, fall apart. Drazen, what was that, Drazen? From the other side, Draz not going to go off the window. Derek Coleman had a good game, posts up. Well, wasn't a good shot. And Kenny had a terrific game, but not right here from 20 feet. Chuck Daly's team scored 12 points in the third quarter while the Jazz were on. Stockton to Malone. The mailman delivers 29 points, 16 boards. And the Nets lose to the Jazz, 108-97. The Jazz now 3-0 on the road. Play 3 more road games in the next 4 nights. Great game from Anderson, but not enough. LJ Alonso and the Hornets host Dallas. It was expansion draft day, but it was dunk night in Carolina. Muggsy Bogues to Larry Johnson, the two-hander. LJ had 21. Now Muggsy to Kendall Gill for the reverse send it in. He had 18. How about Bogues this time? The steal from a slumbering Terry Davis. The feed to Kendall Gill again for a dunk again. You want more, you have it. 5-3 Muggsy to LJ for the two-hand tomahawk. Send it in. And guess who's going to feed Alonzo Mourning for this dunk? Muggsy. Of course, Muggsy had only 9 assists, but you saw them all. How about Mourning on the defensive end with the block starting the break? One more alley-oop to Larry Johnson. What a big night for the Hornets. Very talented team. They led by 41, won by 23. Richie Adebayo called the Dallas effort absolutely horrible. Bad news, Johnny Newman for Charlotte, broken bone in his hand, out until late December. He was averaging 20 points per game. Linda?
Sitting out this one, Purvis Ellison and LaBradford Smith, but Gugliotta did the job picking up the slack, takes the save by Jones, takes it in for the layup. Celts hang tough in this game. Sherm Douglas around Michael Adams with ease. Celts down by 2 at the half, but Harvey Grant would get hot. The right-hander around McHale. Time to make Joe Klein look foolish. Then on the break, gets the feed from Brent Price, takes it up strong, gets the roll and the foul. Grant, a career-high 34 points. Bullets win 101-97. Gugliotta, 12 rebounds to go along with his 17 points. How about those Celtics? The year after Larry Bird leaves, they're off to their worst start since the year before Larry Bird arrived. The Hawks at home against the surprising Bucks, and the Bucks had a surprise for Atlanta. They won again, the Bucks' 3rd win on the road. We're talking about a team that just won 6 away from home a year.
Got Michael on the left side. McRae running hard down the middle. Oh! Celtics will have a 3-on-2. Bill Hardaway kicked his pocket. Back from Owen. The last couple days in the Louisiana. Spectacular play down the baseline, and Minnesota leads by 2. Ryan coming around here, coming chip. Edwards with it inside. Michael Smith.
Burt comes in low, throws the ball to baseline. He gets it back from Alexander. He throws up a prayer.
Oh! AC King out to set the screen. Goes baseline instead with the left. Anthony is met at it. Fades, fires, bounces off.
How to play defense here. That hook shot no good by Turkin. Rebound picked out. Slam! Right in the face of Benoit.
There is the ex-Razorback, the big man coming through with the mighty move inside over Rick Chilcutt. Then Miller posting up on Lionel Simmons. No contest. Miller with a bank off the glass. Then it's Miller with another one-handed jam. Miller with 10 first-half points. Sir Charles likes it very much. Miller can play D as well, rejecting Coswell. Then it's Barkley leading the breaks. Watch this pass behind the back to Ceballos. Ceballos had a great game. He had 30. Gary St. Jean not happy. Sir Charles showing some attitude. The rejection of Randy Brown. Then he says, hey, don't you dare come back into my lane ever again. Second half, more Miller going baseline around Anthony Bonner. Gets the basket and the foul. The Suns win this one easily. Miller with 19 points. He also showed he can pass. He tied the team lead with 5 assists. An off night for Barkley, though. Charles just 3 of 13 from the field. Now, would it be a battle of Shaqs in Philly? Orlando Shaquille O'Neal did his part, showing the type of play that made him player of the week. The fadeaway, and then the power move and the lay-in. Sixers with their own Shaq, you know, Charles Shackelford, not even the game for 10 seconds. A little too physical here, bringing down Mr. Kite. This Shaq specializing in the hack. How often does this happen? Shaq blocked by Clarence Weatherspoon. Too bad, it was a goaltend. Shaq returns with a monster block on the spoon, also a goaltend. Shaq sitting with 3 fouls and 15 points. Magic up, though, by 3 at the half. Magic was up by 17 at one point. Sixers rally. Hawkins with a bucket. Gukas is concerned, but Shaq comes through with some defense. The strip of Hawkins, then the outlet to Dennis Scott, and then Scott, the cross-court bounce pass. pass to Bowie for the easy hoop. Shaq leaving the spectrum a winner. Magic wins this one by 10. O'Neal with 29 points, 19 rebounds. But Shaq said after the game he thought he played all right. Shaq's self-proclaimed so-so performance helped Orlando move into a first-place position in the Atlantic Division. The Jazz looking for their first win ever in Boston. Here's a surprise. The Celtics had shooting problems early on. Joe Klein gets blocked not once, not twice, but yes, count it, 3 times. Third quarter, Jeff Malone had the hot hand for Utah. Then he drives and hits the fadeaway. Nice one. Then a little pull-up and hitting one from the foul line. Jeff Malone with 22 points. Late in the fourth, Celtics trail by just 3. Lewis, the drive, throws one up and gets the foul. What's this, a tie game? Karl Malone gets double-teamed in the corner by McHale and Parrish. He had to call a timeout. So, with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, Tyrone Corbin makes the pretty pass to John Stockton, who lays it in and gets the foul. Celtics last gasp. Reggie Lewis for the game winner. No good. The tip try. No good. Jazz hang on to win it by 1, 92-91. Where's Larry when you really need him? With a loss, Boston off to their worst.
Wasn't enough to hold fans turning out for Kemp and the Sonics, and he was huffing and puffing, trying to keep up with the Bulls, who just got ahead of them all night. When Michael Jordan drained that 3, the Bulls led 37-20 at the end of the first. Jordan had 35. Pippen was looking around to spray the ball and finds Rodney McRae. Pippen had 8 assists and almost another triple-double, and it's 48-32 Bulls. The Sonics did crash the boards. Eddie Johnson with the tip in for the Chicago native. And then by the third, the Bulls still in complete command. Pippen getting the roll and got it to go home. He had 21. Bulls were blowing him out 89-67 after 3 quarters. Kemp did make his presence known with the offensive rebound to have 17, one of the leading scorers for the Sonics. But look at the great passing by the Bulls, who eventually get it inside to Scott Williams. Everyone touches the ball. The Bulls lead at 104-71. George Karl's team makes a meaningless 28-4 spurt in the fourth quarter to close it to a 9-point final in front of 37,401, the 6th largest crowd ever for a Sonic game. Cartwright had 5 for the second straight game. Corey Williams, Tucker, and King combined to go 0 for 10 off the Bulls bench as they head for the Forum Friday against the Lakers, so far unbeaten on this road trip. At the LA Arena, the Knicks have had a terrible road trip, trying to pull out with 1 road win on the West Coast, but Patrick Ewing was daunted in the middle, had just 6 points in the first half. Mark Jackson giving an earful to his former teammates, including John Starks. It's their first meeting since the big trade that brought Charles Smith to the Knicks, but he wasn't a factor, but a lot of former Knicks were for LA. Kiki Vandeweghe popping his first start of the year for the Clippers. He's been an offensive force. Jackson looking around, over the shoulder pass to Lloyd Vaught, who nails the J. Clippers up 7 at the break, and then Jackson swishing and dishing right over Greg Anthony. Now Jackson again with a baseball pass, leading ahead to Ron Harper, who slammed it home. Jackson and company going a 13-1 run, and they are fired up. Jackson carrying Harper and company on his back as he goes against Anthony and his former teammates in the give and go. Jackson curling underneath. He had 13 points and was dishing out plenty of assists, and Hot Plate Williams was dishing out some punishments to all of Jackson's former teammates. Anthony Mason and Oakley getting involved underneath. Now watch Danny Manning going for the rebound and Oakley pulling him down. It got physical near the end, but the Clippers were just too much. The outlet. And Manning with the acrobatic follow had 27 points. Harper added 22. And Jackson helped lead the Clippers to a 10-point win as they have now won 4 out of 5. They'll meet again January 2nd in Madison Square Garden, and that should be interesting.
6-game stats are pretty darn good. 26 points, nearly 17 boards per. Alton Lister guarding Shaq to start, but everyone would get a shot at hurting Shaquille. How about Tyrone Hill poking the Shaq in the eye? Then Byron Houston, of all people, gets a block on Shaquille O'Neal. Still, the Shaq had 12 points in the first half. Then it was time for Timmy Hardaway. The crossover dribble beating Scott Skiles. 12-point lead for Golden State at one point. But it got serious and unhappy. Billy Owens here injures his ankle, had to leave the game, and then the Shaq would take over after Owens leaves the court. Look at Shaq, $40 million and cleaning the floors, too, in the Magic Kingdom. Now he calls for the ball on the cut through the lane on the pass from Nick Anderson. Then Dennis Scott, the dish to Shaq. Watch the pump fake. And then the finger roll. And here, picking up the loose ball, a monster jam, a monster night. 29 points, 16 boards. Nick Anderson also had 30 in this game. Dennis Scott, 25. The trio is averaging 71 points. Orlando wins by 24. They're in first place. And as Gary said, they face the Knicks and Patrick Ewing Saturday night. Now in Texas, without injured center Brad Daugherty, Cleveland taking on Houston and Hakeem. And he had the Rockets playing well early. Off the feed from Winston Garland. Great pass. And Vernon Maxwell sitting out with a sprained ankle, so Sleepy Floyd a chance to light up the Texas night. Draining three. One more time. Rips court on another three. Lenny Wilkins unhappy with the Cavaliers defense, and you see why, as Sleepy uses the window. Rockets by three. Then Olajuwon backs in, turnaround jumper. 28 points, 20 boards. Cleveland would hang tough with John Battle to Hot Rod Williams, so the two-hands sent it in. It was a two-point game. Rudy Tomjanovich says, get the ball to Sleepy. He is hot, and he ices it with that one. 28 points, Sleepy awakening. And the Rockets now have won 4 consecutive games. Cleveland has lost 4 in a row without Doherty. Of course, Maxwell sitting out, but it does not hurt as Floyd comes up with a big game. Dallas against David Robinson and the Spurs. David didn't start well. 1 field goal in the first half, but Dale Ellis was hot. Spots up and knocks down 3. Move to the right side, double down on David, give it to Dale. They'll create some space during the year. Then Ellis cuts down the lane off the nice feed from Sidney Green. Ellis 12 in the first quarter. Spurs put on the pressure all evening. William Bedford misses, but a great play by Sean Elliott to sneak in for 2 of his 26. Spurs by 13 at the half, and in the fourth, the Admiral gets going off the feed from Antoine Carr. Pretty feed, then Vinny Del Negro. The outlet to Lloyd Daniels. Sweet pea, sweet bounce pass. And Tart has an easy one for once. This is like the Vegas days. San Antonio wins by 28. Derek Harper, 24 for the 1-5 Mavs. Richie Adebayo, quote, the road is a cold place. Running the floor for the Nets was Mookie Blaylock. He was unhappy coming off the bench, so he was sent to Atlanta for Ramil Robinson. The two now in new places, meeting on Thursday night in Atlanta. Hawks and the Nets. And on the fast break, Dwayne Farrell. But watch Ramil get up and get out of my way. What a block. Now Mookie working on Kenny Anderson, who got the starting job from Mookie. Mookie says, I'll show you, Kenny A., who played a few games at the Omni. It was tied at 54 and a half, and then Dominique, the Tomahawk Jam. He led Atlanta with 24, but the Nets come back. Sam Bowie and Drazen Petrovic, big second halves. Draz had 20. The Nets go on to win 108-101. Derek Coleman 24 and 11 as the Nets win in Atlanta for the first time since March of '85. The Hawks are 0-3 at home this season. Another big man, Dikembe Mutombo against Detroit. Dan Issel, the Nugget coach, looking for good news, doesn't get it here. An injury to Bryant Stith, the #1 draft pick, 13 overall, breaks a bone in his foot, out until the All-Star break. Things do get better on the court. Reggie Williams to LaFonso Ellis. The hoop and the foul, 7 points in a minute and a half, and the Nuggets lead by 1. Second half, it's more Reggie Williams off the pass from Chris Jackson. It's a Reggie slam, and then Reggie will return the favor. The long pass, this time to his fellow Hoya alum, says, who needs the French Nationals beating Georgetown? We're doing fine in the NBA. Denver wins by 12. Mutombo, as you see, good numbers. The Nuggets snap a 5-game slide. First win since opening night. Detroit has lost 4 of 5, and Rodman and Isaiah Thomas both out with injuries on Thursday night.